Breaking news. Investigators in Nova Scotia have just confirmed two major developments in the disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. These new discoveries aren't speculation. They are hard evidence. The kind of evidence that can rewrite everything we thought we knew about this case. Before we go deeper, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, because the Agent Tim community spans across nations, and your voice matters in every investigation we discuss here. And while you're there, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a single update as this case unfolds. Now, let's go back to where it all began. It was a calm evening in early May 2025. Two young siblings, 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, were playing outside their home in rural Nova Scotia. They were laughing, running, doing what children do best. Moments later, their mother called out to them, and silence answered back. That call to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police came just minutes later, her voice trembling as she explained that her children were gone. Within the hour, patrol cars swept the gravel roads, volunteers began combing the woods, and helicopters hovered above the tree line. Drones scanned every field. K-9 teams followed potential trails. But what investigators expected to find, they didn't. There were no footprints, no signs of wandering, no drag marks, and no broken branches. The damp ground should have told a story, but it didn't. It was clean, quiet, and deeply unsettling. Days turned into weeks, and the case began to lose momentum. For many, it felt like the truth had been buried with the silence of that night. But in the shadows of that fading investigation, a small piece of evidence sat unnoticed, waiting to be found. Recently, detectives revisiting old leads stumbled upon a single video file that changed everything. The footage came from a motion sensor gate camera along a remote stretch of Gearlock Road, only a few kilometers from the Sullivan home. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m., hours after the children had been reported missing. The video showed a dark SUV creeping slowly along the isolated road, headlights cutting through fog and gravel dust. That one clip raised immediate red flags. The area had already been declared secure by police. There should have been no traffic. So who was behind the wheel of that vehicle, and what were they doing there that late at night? Forensic specialists enhanced the video frame by frame, studying reflections, tire impressions, and partial license plate data. What they uncovered made investigators sit up straight. The SUV in the footage matched the make, model, and even a distinct rear window decal of a vehicle belonging to a close family acquaintance, someone who had confidently told police they were home all night. That one clip shattered the timeline everyone believed. From that point on, the investigation shifted. It was no longer about where the children might have gone, it was about who was hiding the truth. But that was only the first clue. The second discovery came not from the woods or a camera, but from a phone. Digital forensics experts, quietly working in the background, began reanalyzing old data belonging to individuals connected to the family. In that process, they unearthed deleted GPS information that should not have existed anymore. What they found was chilling. The phone's reconstructed coordinates placed it along the same remote stretch of Gearlock Road, at nearly the same time the dark SUV appeared on camera. Between 11:45 and just after midnight, the phone's signal showed movement along that path, then vanished. Shortly afterward, the device was wiped clean. System logs confirmed the deletion was manual, not accidental. Whoever owned it knew exactly what they were erasing. For investigators, that was no coincidence. It was intent. Two data trails, one visual, one digital, both pointing to the same road, the same moment, and likely the same person. With these findings, detectives began reconstructing the missing hours of that night. They overlaid the footage timeline with the phone's data, aligning every movement down to the minute. What emerged was a picture that no longer matched the original narrative. The evidence suggested two possibilities. The first, that Lily and Jack were moved after they disappeared, taken from one place to another under the cover of darkness. The second, that the tragedy began as an accident but evolved into a calculated cover-up designed to hide the truth and mislead investigators. Either scenario carried the same weight. Someone close to the family had not been truthful.
In the following days, RCMP units returned to the area. Locals noticed renewed police presence, unmarked vehicles parked near the tree line, floodlights illuminating small clearings, and teams combing through brush near an old shed and drainage path. Those were the same areas dismissed months earlier. The renewed activity was a clear sign. Something significant had been found. Behind the scenes, investigators worked methodically. They re-interviewed individuals whose statements no longer aligned with the evidence. Some changed details, some hesitated, some contradicted themselves entirely. Inconsistencies began to surface like cracks in a frozen lake, widening with every new question. Meanwhile, forensic technicians continued enhancing the SUV footage, searching for reflections in the windshield that might reveal who was inside. Others examined digital metadata, hoping to uncover hidden backups or signals linked to that deleted phone. The deeper they dug, the clearer one truth became. This was never a simple disappearance. As days turned into nights, whispers began circulating through the community. The sense of dread that had once quieted down was back again, heavier than before. People started asking the same haunting question: if someone deliberately erased that phone data, and if someone drove that SUV along a restricted road at nearly midnight, what were they hiding and why? The silence surrounding Lily and Jack's disappearance was breaking, replaced by the weight of discovery pressing in from all directions. Investigators believe they are now on the verge of transforming this case from a missing person search into a full criminal inquiry. Right now, every pixel of that footage and every trace of data recovered from that phone is being analyzed in forensic labs. Experts are enhancing images, studying patterns, and extracting hidden fingerprints or DNA. If anything from that SUV or device connect back to the Sullivan residence or the night of May 2nd, charges could follow. Behind the closed doors, detectives are preparing. They are aligning warrants, re-examining call logs, cross-checking GPS histories, and ensuring every piece of evidence can stand in court. The walls are closing in around the truth. This investigation has reached a point where speculation is giving way to proof. Timelines that once seemed clean are breaking apart, and details that used to feel solid are showing cracks. The case that began as a heartbreaking mystery may soon turn into a legal reckoning. For months, people wondered if Lily and Jack would ever be found, or if the truth would remain buried forever. Now, for the first time since their disappearance, investigators believe they are closing in, not just on the facts, but on accountability. Every unanswered question is circling back to one point: that lonely road at 11:47 p.m. where a dark SUV passed quietly through the fog and a deleted phone signal mirrored its path. That's where the truth lies waiting. If you've followed this story from the beginning, you know that this isn't about sensational headlines. It's about justice for two children who vanished without a trace. The evidence uncovered so far might be the turning point that finally brings clarity to a case that's haunted an entire community. So as this story develops, stay with me. Hit that like button to help this update reach more viewers who care about truth and accountability. Share this video to keep the pressure alive and the story visible. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because when the RCMP announces their next move, we'll be right here to break it down, piece by piece, fact by fact. Comment below and tell me where you're watching from. It's incredible to see how many of you stand for justice around the world. I'm Agent Tim, and this is what we do here. We follow the evidence, we uncover the truth, and we never stop asking the hard questions. Until the next update, stay sharp, stay compassionate, and remember, every secret leaves a trace.